Hi everyone, Bonnie Lee here, and I want to thank Host Agency Reviews, also known as HAR, Mary. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to talk on how to qualify your client for Sun and Fun vacations. When I got the email from Mary, I was so excited, and I was excited because when I began my career in travel, I began it with Sun and Fun vacations. That is my first love. That has always been a great love of mine in travel. So how do you go about qualifying your clients to get them into the perfect destination and the perfect resort? Well, the first thing you actually have to know are your products. You have to know your destinations. And then you can have those qualifying calls or emails, however it is you communicate with your clients. Then you get to have those. So what am I talking about when I say get to know your products? So getting to know your products is really about resorts. It's about ships. It's about destinations. It's about all of those. So let's just talk a moment about. Now, if you see me looking down, it's because I've got a lot of notes down here. Qualifying your clients is not an easy task. And if you forget one of these things, it's perfectly fine. You will learn to work your way into this. So when you are qualifying your clients for their, say for instance, we're just going to talk resorts right now. What kind of a resort when they close their eyes like this? Like it's at night and they're laying in bed, or maybe they're just sitting by a fire looking out at the dog barking, whatever. And they close their eyes and they have a vision of this upcoming trip that they are going to take. What is on the backside? What do they see? In the writing world, they will say, what we want to do when we're qualifying them in the end is we want to have triggered the theater of their mind. We want to have it light up. So when they read what we send, they are able to just put the picture of their trip together. So now let's talk about some different resorts. So when you are talking about resorts, there's so many different options. There's resorts that are AI, also known as all-inclusive. Now, there are different degrees of all-inclusive, like what actually is included. So we want to know about resort products. We want to know how big they are, maybe if they're a complex. Like say, for instance, you might look at a Barcelo or an Iberostar, where they have 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 different complexes all in a row. One might be an entry level all the way up to luxury. So which resort chains offer that? Which resort chains have multi-bedroom options? 1 bedroom, a standard room, 2 bedroom, 3 bedroom, connecting rooms. And some of those different resort partners that you might want to look at are Maravel, Barcelo, Iberostar, Sandals and Beaches, Charisma Resorts. And there are many other. I'm purely giving you an idea to trigger the theater of your mind so that you can begin to see what it is that you want to project to your customer, to your potential customer. So another thing you want to know, is this an adult-only resort? I don't know. Is it? Does this adult-only resort sit within a complex that also has family-friendly? And can they exchange going back and forth? These are things that as you're looking at resort chains and resort complexes, hotels even, do they have those exchange privileges with someone else? And do they offer the opportunity for multi-bedroom accommodations for your customer? So that's the whole idea behind understanding your resort choices. Do you have to know them all? Heck no. But once you've studied a couple of them, you are going to know what are similarities between them and what makes someone stand out against the pack, which then allows you to put within your arsenal of chatting with your client questions to ask, because now you know, oh, are they traveling with children? You might want to know that because you will need a family-friendly resort. Or are they just themselves and they want romance and no children? And you're going to learn the questions that you're going to want to ask because you have studied your product. Okay, so that is, we're talking more there about resorts that you're going to find throughout the Caribbean. You're going to find them throughout Mexico, so maybe even some of them over in Europe. Not as many there, but your typical sun and fun is going to be found south of the United States, the Caribbean, and Mexico. Now, another part of sun and fun that I loved was cruising. Hello, cruise ships that go through the Caribbean constantly. Those are sun and fun. Even the ships potentially that are over in Europe. Maybe they're over in Europe and they're doing the Greek islands. That is sun and fun. Maybe it's a ship going into the Galapagos. That is sun and fun. All right, so make sure that you put cruises into your repertoire of knowing. Now, what do you want to know about these ships? You will definitely want to know, how big are they? Are they 400 passengers? Are they 4,000 passengers? Can you get connecting rooms or just adjoining rooms? Connecting means there's a door between them. Adjoining means they're next to each other. That's just a little FYI that, I might have learned the hard way. That's why I'm tossing it out there for you. So another thing with cruises is, so we just talked about size. So some of the smaller ones that you might want to take a gander at just to get an idea of maybe what is the benefit of a small ship. You've got Uncruise, you've got Windstar, you've got Paul Gauguin, and I just talked a bit about the Galapagos, the celebrity ship that is in the Galapagos. Very, very small and very, very intimate. So what are the sizes of those ships? Who are the smaller ones, and are they adventurous? Uncruise is a very adventurous, small cruise. Can get in all kinds of little places to show you a lot of different things. Another small cruise line that I just mentioned maybe is Windstar. They are going to do the exact same thing. Many of them have different inclusions, so study the inclusions of the small ships. Now, you're going to have midships as well. Some Holland America ships are very, very midship. They don't have 4,000 passengers. They might have 1,000. They might have 1,500. They might have 800. But understand who offers those smaller ships, because some people don't want or need those gigantic ships. Typically, those are going to be somebody who wants to be moving and shaking and has kids. Notice I said the word typical. That is not in all ways. You might have somebody who's traveling all by themselves or just two of them, and they love to watch the adventure. So the big ship might be for them. That's part of why you're going to learn about the ships, so that you learn about the questions to ask. Then there are those larger ships that have a ship within the ship. Take, for instance, Norwegian Cruise Lines. They have the Haven. Ooh, love the Haven. That's totally a Bonnie Lee experience, I gotta tell ya. But it's a ship within a ship, which offers you the opportunity to have the conversation with your client, much like the resort complexes that have family-friendly, luxury, adult-only, all within a resort complex. And are there exchange privileges between them? You'll find out that when you explore and learn about those different resorts. Ships within a ship, like the Norwegian and the Haven, the exact same thing. The Haven is a ship within a ship. Can you exchange? If you stay in the Haven, can you go out to the bigger part of the ship? I'm not going to tell you. You're going to have to study that out. So know those ships. Know the small ship, the medium ships, and the big ships. And what do those big ships have to offer? So many things. Each one's a little bit different. Some of them have all-inclusive options that can be purchased prior to your client actually sailing on them. Some of them you can purchase them online prior to the client sailing, but understand them. Understand the inclusions that come maybe with different packages, but I'm going to say the packages sort of, they vary. They might be selling one all-inclusive package included in a ship price in January, and it might change up totally in September. So just know what's possible. I think that is the most important thing when you are talking about ships. So now we've talked about knowing the resorts, and we've talked about knowing the different cruise lines, what they have to offer, their size, and if there is a ship within a ship. So we've got that one down. All right, now the next thing you have to learn, or I'm not going to say you have to, but I am going to say if you want to look stellar, like you could really ask questions easily, you will want to study those destinations. In other words, know some little, like gem about something so that when you are explaining or talking to your client about why you are, let's say, recommending Puerto Vallarta. If you're recommending Puerto Vallarta, oh my gosh, my favorite thing, and I didn't make this up, I experienced it. And because I experienced it and it was so cool to me, I incorporated that in when I made my conversations with my potential clients about Puerto Vallarta. Puerto Vallarta sits on one of the largest bays in the world. It's huge. It sits right on the Pacific Ocean. It's right next to the marine highway that goes between Alaska and way down to South America, the whale highway. All the mammals and the birds, this is where they're migrating. So as you're talking to your client and you're talking about Puerto Vallarta, you can talk about the size of the bay, the beauty of the bay, the color of the water in the bay. It is an amazingly dark, beautiful navy blue that when the sun shines on it, it sparkles like diamonds. You are looking all the way west, all the way to Hawaii, and the sunsets over that bay are breathtaking. When you study the destinations and you learn about just those little tidbits, that's how you are able to talk to your client and trigger the theater of their mind. You can trigger the dream behind the eyelids because you are feeding into it description. Oh, and I did not mention, in Puerto Vallarta, right behind you, you have the Sierra Madre Mountains. You have the ocean, that beautiful bay. You have the beaches. You have the resorts. And then up here, the incredible Sierra Madre Mountains begin up here. They creep down until they just gently kiss the Bay of Banderas. Do you see how you're able to take what is there and use it to paint something, to fulfill a dream, to let them know what they are going to see, to give them something to dream about even before they're going. So, you want to know the products and you want to know the destinations. Oh, and let me tell you, I talk about the Puerto Vallarta, but that was just one of my absolute loves. And also, here's a crazy one. How about Aruba? People want to go to Aruba. I love tropical. So Bonnie, Send me to Aruba. You know what? I just want to qualify what it is you're thinking tropical is. Aruba is a very arid island. It's surrounded by the most beautiful water. The color of that water is like the craziest turquoise you will ever see. It is crystal clear, but the island itself is arid. Within the resort complexes, have they just brought in all the flora and the fauna that you would find in a tropical place? Of course they have, and it is there. But again, that is an important thing to know, to potentially talk to your client about if they're interested in certain islands. Does the island have a rainforest? Know where to find the rainforest. Is it like a Costa Rican rainforest? How about a volcano? There's great volcanoes people can go to see. So know those destinations. Know who flies into those destinations. How hard is it, let's say, for instance, to get to Puerto Vallarta from any city? It's going to change, of course, with the time of year you're talking about. But know who those major carriers are that are going to be going into the destinations. Do you have to know them all? No, you do not. But is it helpful? It is absolutely helpful to know the carriers that are going in there. And I'm looking down because I'm making sure I'm not missing anything here. Understand Hawaii. Hawaii is a fabulous destination for people coming from the United States. They don't need a passport. It's so easy. Interesting part about Hawaii is so many of my clients wanted to have a really nice all-inclusive in Hawaii. Well, that might be a little difficult to find because I'm going to say there aren't any, but I should probably say, I'm not saying there will never be any. But with that said, are the food choices awesome? Is it easy to walk outside and just pick up some noodles with a little bit of vegetables and some sauce? Absolutely. Can you find a burger? Absolutely. So you're not going to find those all-inclusives in Hawaii, but many other choices. So know who offers what. Okay, so I think I have covered my destinations. I've covered cruising, and I've covered the resorts. So now, I don't know if you can see down here, but I have an orange and an onion. Is that because I'm going to be hungry doing this presentation? No, not at all. I kind of sometimes, usually, and very, very often, like to use things to explain what I'm talking about. So now we're going to talk about having that conversation with your client. Now we're going to start qualifying them. And I think one of the most interesting things when you're qualifying a client is to have a conversation. And you will be able to have a conversation now because you know the questions. You are going to feel comfortable. Don't make it feel like an interrogation. Hey, what time of the year do you want to go? How many days do you want to stay? How much money do you have? Who's traveling with you? That kind of feels like an interrogation. You want to have a conversation, like I'm having a conversation with you. I'm not just spewing things out. My voice tells you that I am excited about what I am doing. When you have the conversations with your clients, because you're going to be informed, your voice is going to show that you love what you do. Your face is going to show it. So that whole thing about number one, getting to know your client. Here is this onion. Now, let's just pretend this is the first time you've talked to them. Oh my God, this is the customer you're going to get right here. Oh, kind of brittle. Woo! They do not trust you. So they have kind of a hard shell. They have this going on. And onions, we all know, have bazillions of layers. And this is a red onion. So you can see the outside is very, very red. As I go farther in, it's going to get whiter. It's going to get easier to have the conversation with your client because you have broken through the hard part. You have let them see you. You have let them see that you are excited to work with them. Your goal is to make this be the best getaway, the best vacation ever. It's gonna meet every single one of their needs. So this is my onion. Now, the next, everybody needs an onion in their kitchen and they need a really good orange. Now, these guys both have peels. So the orange I'm not really talking about as a peel. It's probably gonna squirt me, but let's see about this. Here is my, and it's running down my arm, but, well, I thought I had a napkin. We'll just kind of go like that. Oh, there is a hand, look, a napkin out of nowhere. It's magical. So here is my orange. Now my reason I have an orange is there's all these segments in an orange. Now I've broken that one apart accidentally, but if you've opened an orange up, each section is in and of itself. They're together, but they're separated out. So as you're having your questions for your clients, when you're talking to them, the part about the orange that is going to make sense is when you get done, all of those sections, those questions that you're talking about are going to go together and make a full-fledged orange for your customer. You have to segment it out, get the answers, and then it will all hold together. All right, so now we have talked about how to do this. We have talked about the fact that you are going to have a conversation. You are not going to interrogate them. You're going to have a conversation. How wonderful is it in this day and age when someone really wants to take the time to get to know you? Your potential customer, your customer, they can tell, they know. Is this purely their job and they're asking me questions and taking some notes? Or is it really that you want to get them to know them? So we have determined conversation, not an interrogation. Now, what the heck kind of questions are you going to ask? I have a gigantic list here, but I'm not going to ask them all. I'm just going to give you some ideas. So, fun and fun. What are the things that are going to be included in that? Typically, but not always, a beach. Las Vegas, a great sun and fun vacation. Lots of pools, lots of sun. Oh my God, lots and lots and lots of sun. When you go to the Caribbean in Mexico, there's going to be those beaches. And again, when you're on a cruise, there are going to be the port stops and you are going to find beaches. So your question is to the client, oh, of course I want to be on the water. Yes, I do. All right, well, that's very cool. But that is just a giant orange. I got to get into the beach. What do you want to do? Do you want to walk the beach? Do you want to swim? Or do you just want to look at the beach? Those are three very, very different answers that can give you all kinds of different resorts to recommend. If all they want to do is look at the beach, it doesn't matter if they can walk it, does it? No, they want to just be able to see it. It doesn't matter if they can swim in it, does it? No, they want to just be able to look at it. But it does matter if they want to swim in it and you are sending them to a destination, a resort in a destination that has a non-swimmable beach. Los Cabos is so fabulous. It is so beautiful. But that's a perfect example of knowing your resorts. Some of those beaches are very walkable. They're very beautiful, but they are not swimmable. So when you're looking at your destinations, those are the things that you do want to know. What kind of a beach are we talking? You're going to ask, well, about the color of the water. Are they looking for that beautiful turquoise colored water of the Caribbean? Or do they want the Pacific, which is that incredible navy blue, which I love, that looks all the way to Hawaii? Very, very different experiences. Now, if they say they want the Caribbean and they end up in Puerto Vallarta, they will not be heartbroken because you will have already explained the color of the water. But if you don't ask the question, and they really are expecting turquoise waters, and you put them over on the Pacific side and the water is not turquoise, that theater of their mind, the picture you've painted, all of those things, it's broken because it isn't what they imagined. So again, this is about the conversation so that you can put together the perfect trip for your client. Do they like to gamble? If they like to gamble, that's important to know. What kind of gambling do they like to do? That as well is important. Some resorts, for instance, in Jamaica have gambling, but gambling there is 5 slot machines and just a room off the lobby. 5 slot machines, room off the lobby. Where if your customer says, yeah, I really want to gamble, but they are looking for blackjack, they're looking for roulette, they're looking for a high rollers place, whatever it is, you want to know that because you want to make the correct recommendation. If they're sailing on a ship, you want to examine their casinos. Do they have a casino? And what type of gaming is involved? Check out Aruba. They have fabulous gaming for people. I believe the Bahamas do as well. Things like that. You can always throw in a joke there as well. Oh gosh, I can't remember which island. I believe it is the Bahamas. Those casinos I told my customers, they will come and pick you up and happily take you. But they will not bring you back, most of them. So tell your clients, make sure you save enough money in your pocket or have an app on your phone to call someone to come and get you because you might not be able to get back. But gaming is important. What kind of gaming are they envisioning? What in the theater of their mind, what are they doing in the gambling Act 5? What kind of gambling do they have? Do they like entertainment? If it's a small resort, very, very intimate, the entertainment might be limited. A big complex might have tons of entertainment. They might have the show here. They might have cooking in the afternoon. They could have fire dancing there. They can have anything. And of course, on a ship, there is going to be also many, many different types of entertainment for your clients to participate in if that's what they want. Or are they like, hey, listen, do not send me to a resort that I am laying by the beach and somebody comes and says to me, come on, we're going to play volleyball, everybody's going to cook, and guess what? We're going to do some tango dancing too. If they don't want that, know that up front. If the only resort or ship that you can recommend that fits what they need, but it has, they are going to come and ask you to tango, tell them up front. Because they know it is not going to be a negative. If people making an informed choice know why they made the choice. And it is our job as travel professionals to inform them. Isn't that amazing? I mean, I think that is so amazing. It's like going to a restaurant and I order Thai basil tofu. You know what? I do not want them to have meat in that dish. I read the description, that's what I want. Unless it says this is going to be in it. The same is true for a trip. Understand what the resort or the ship has to offer and let your clients know absolutely all of those things. All right, now, how about liquor? Is liquor important? Is liquor included? Top shelf or not top shelf liquor? Do they have mock cocktails? And in some resorts, mock cocktails are treated the same as liquor. If it isn't an all-inclusive, that mock cocktail might actually bear the cost similar to a drink with alcohol in it because it has alcohol spirits, apparently. I don't know how that works, but understand everything you can about what type of liquor they do offer. Here's my short story. Years and years ago, I always sold to my wallet. I had a client call and I said, well, this resort is perfect. It's all inclusive and blah, 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 and it's X number of dollars. This resort is a little bit more, but they offer top shelf liquor. To my amazement, he says, oh, definitely we need top shelf liquor. I wasn't a drinker. Wasn't. Does that mean I am now? I don't know. Not a big drinker. But to some people, that top shelf brand matters. So understand, again, asking them the question, not just, do you want an all-inclusive that provides alcohol? Do you want an all-inclusive that provides alcohol that is top shelf? How about tipping? Is tipping included? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. But these are the things you want to know so that you can let your customer know. Tipping is included, so this is totally all-inclusive. It's not, so maybe bring some extra money. It's optional, so maybe somebody got you a coffee at the coffee shop that knocked your socks off and you want to give them a couple of extra bucks, maybe bring it along. So all of those things, again, knowing is golden when it comes to your clients. Power is knowledge, or is knowledge power? I think it's a circle, could happen in any direction. Where are they departing out of? And about how many days do they have to travel? Now, those two things are very important when you're recommending a destination. Let's just say, for instance, your client is departing out of Minneapolis. I know Minneapolis very well because that's where I'm from, that's where I live. I know where those nonstop flights are, and I know where the different destinations are that are going to maybe take 1 or 2 or potentially even 3 stops. So know the departure airport for your client. We're all very global now. You're going to be dealing with customers in many cities that you might not be familiar with, but familiarize yourself with that. How many days they have, well, that reflects absolutely into what you would recommend for the destination. If they're going to be gone for 2 weeks and they have to and there's something with a double connect or a triple connect, that's okay, because they're going to be gone for a long time. If it's a 4-night stay and it's got a double or a triple connect, that's going to take a day of travel on the outbound and a day of travel potentially on the return. So that's why you want to know that, because then you can turn that into knowledge is power. You're telling them, this is why I'm asking you, because I want to make sure that when you hit the ground on your vacation, you are getting as many moments as you can. Not just a few, as many moments as we can orchestrate to get you. That is exactly what we want to be able to do. What kind of resort or ship are they thinking? And by that I mean, not is it all-inclusive and not is it on the water, but what's the decor like? Is it modern, or is it maybe old world Mexican, old world Jamaican? I don't know. But it matters. Just think if your client loves, let's say, modern, sleek. Every line is straight and there is not much color. They just like it very plain. Some people might call that plain. And you are recommending Jamaica and you put them into this absolutely fabulous resort that ticks off every box. But it is very old world Jamaican. Will they be happy? Yeah, it's got everything they want. But part of their mind might be like, everything was perfect. But, I didn't like the lobby. It had all these things. And I just really like a lobby with a bubbling fountain. Who knows? So find out what kind of a resort they like. Is it modern? Is it crisp? Is it old world, some kind of country? Is it spa-like? Speaking of spa-like, how about spa? Are they looking for spa? There are some resorts that include spa treatments. So for someone who really is looking for a spa resort, that might be important too. Ships have spas. Understand the spas. And some ships do not have spas. The smaller ships have a tendency to offer spa treatments, but they don't have a spa, which is perfectly fine. I love river cruising, and I love to get a massage when I'm on there, and I go into the massage room, and there I am, and I get massaged, and I'm out of there, because there's not like therapeutic, falls and there is not the salt bath in the ice room. That's not there. But that's not what I need. I just want a massage. But if your client is looking for a true spa experience, you would want to explain that ahead of time. But this ship or this resort, on the other hand, is really focused on spa. So you are absolutely positively going to check into that, because that's going to be one of your questions when you are chatting with your customer. What are you looking for? Do you like a spa? Do they like pools? Some people only like fresh water, period. Do not put me in a saltwater pool. I'm not going to be happy, but I am a pool person. What kind of pools does the resort or the ship have? What does it offer for your customer? Do they have butler service? Some people want butler service, some people don't. So once you have all of these things in your arsenal, once you really have learned, don't have to learn it all, just learn enough of the questions. Now it's time to have that conversation with your customer. Be like the center. Be like the center of this onion. Don't be on the outside. Don't be crunchy and crotchety. Clients can read your face. Know what your face looks like. Let your face know that you are excited to do business with them. And then when you have that discovery call, you've got the information. You're good to go on that. You're going to have the discovery call back and tell them everything that now you have everything from them. Now here's your true recommendation. And because you want them paying attention during the call or during the visit, however it might happen, let them know that you'll record it. If they want you to, tell them, I'm going to record this. Therefore, you can write everything down. That is important, because you might have some questions after the fact. But also, I want to give you a recording, because I believe that a recording is really, really important. And then I follow it up with an email. Here's all my little bullet points of why I recommend what, based on what, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And here is the different pricing options that you're going to have. So that's how I qualified people. I didn't qualify people, actually. I learned about people. People save, typically, for 365 days for that trip. Is that a statistic I got off the internet? No, it's not. But people save for their trip. That's the point. They are saving their money, and they are trusting you with this money that they have saved to be able to take their family on a trip, or maybe just the two of them. It doesn't matter. The point is, they have saved and they trust you. And I hope that this information that I have shared with you gives you enough to be able to have those conversations, to earn their trust, the trust they placed in you, and for you to be able to trigger the theater of their mind, so that the moment they step foot on that ship, they step foot in their cabin, they step foot in the resort, or in their suite or their room, they are going to say, wow, this room, this cabin, this beach, this restaurant, this glass of wine is exactly how we imagined it. Thank you.